Oh no. Wait, guys. So good. You ain't real. You ain't real. Please, is someone, if someone is here watching that is also subscribed to Primal Edge Health YouTube channel, please send him that podcast and tell him that I copied his intro song. Shout out to Tristan if you're seeing this. So, guys, I'm happy to be back. Today is a really spontaneous podcast episode because I literally didn't want to do that episode today. But I'm just coming back from the gym and I'm literally not hungry at all. So I was like, come on, let's just give a little update and entertain and educate you at the same time because I got a cool feedback from a last solo podcast. So I was like, come on, man, let's just rant a little bit today and let you guys know what's up. So for some people that just subscribed to my channel recently, my name is Coach Charles. Of course, Coach Charles is not my real name. My real name is just too complicated, so I had to name my YouTube channel Coach Charles. My real name is Charles Ruffieux, and Ruffieux is a French name, but it's written with one German letter. So actually no one understands it. The Germans cannot pronounce it. The French are like, why is there a German letter? The English cannot pronounce it anyway. So yeah, whatever. So Coach Charles. So I coach, or better say, I help Swiss and German-speaking entrepreneurs and busy men to lose weight and to gain muscle mass. So that's my profession. I'm an online personal trainer and coach. So what I do here is in my free time, in my spare time, and here I can talk a little bit more about more nuanced stuff, because if I would do my podcast in German and talk about the same things that I'm talking here, probably my German speaking followers that know me from real life will be probably a little bit confused. So yeah, that's what I'm doing in my free time. I'm just going to check really quick who is in the live chat in case you guys have any questions. And then I will go into today's topic. So I don't even know actually how long I will be talking today. Just going to go with the flow and basically see what happens. So, grüezi, Dev Preset. Thanks, man. So yeah, today will be a podcast or an episode about, I want to talk about discipline, about willpower management, because it's a thing most people, I would say 99.9% of people, they don't focus on that. And that's the reason why most of you guys fail. So what do I mean by that? It's pretty simple, because we mostly believe that people that achieve something that we want to achieve, we believe mostly of the time, or I believe that back in the days, that these people have something special, like for example, perhaps Drake, or don't know, perhaps that's a bad example, like some fitness dude is shredded because he has a lot of discipline. I cannot be like that. I'm not a disciplined person, so I'm just not going to do it. But the thing you need to know about discipline is successful people and that are not successful because they have more discipline. It's just because they have certain habits set in their lives that spare them a lot of willpower, save them a lot of willpower, so then they can use the willpower for something else, or it's just easy for them to stick to their habits, to their daily actions they need to take. So I see that often with people that start my coachings, that they tried stuff on their own, but they tried everything at once. Like they track the calories, they look at the protein, they want to train like 6 days a week, they want to do cardio, they want to do this. Or I see it also with people into person development. They want to read all these books, they want to start everything that is written in these books, but then they started and they have no idea how to implement habits in their life. So this podcast here is a little bit about how I personally do my habits, how I install them in. Sorry for that. Oh, my camera got blurred. So this podcast here is about how I set my habits, how I improve on my habits, and how I am able to basically stick to the things I need to do. I'm not perfect at it, of course, nobody's perfect, but I just spend a lot of time with really successful people. I have some really successful friends. I have a mastermind group I join every week, and I'm just always around that type of energy and around these type of people that basically get stuff done. So the first thing I want to tell you is what I did, for example, with meditation. That's a good example. A lot of people want to meditate these days. Is that always when you start to do a new thing, tell yourself that you're just going to do it for 1 minute. Or if you want to start to read, just tell yourself, I'm going to read 1 page. Why is that? It's pretty simple, because your brain always thinks that the thing you're going to do is much worse than in real life. So if you're going to tell yourself, I'm going to meditate every day for 20 minutes, if you have a bad day, your brain will trick you and tell you, hey man, don't do it, you're tired, 20 minutes is just too much, you don't have the time, it's not worth it, and then you're just not going to do it at all, you're just going to skip that day. And there's a saying, skip habit twice, habit dies. So what I told myself is, always when I start a new habit, I want to keep the duration of the habit so low that I can basically not skip if skipping the habit is easier than doing the habit, you will always skip it. But if doing the habit is actually the easier thing to do than skipping it, then you're going to do it. So if you tell yourself, hey man, I'm just going to read 1 page a day, what do you think? How much will you read on that day? Of course, you read mostly more than 1 page. Like I never, for example, with meditation, I told myself I'm just going to meditate for 1 minute every day. I actually almost never just meditated 1 minute. I did it perhaps once or twice last year, or perhaps just 5 times or something. I don't really know, but just like 5 or 6 times, probably. And the other days, I stick to it and meditate even more, because as soon as you are in the habit, as soon as you're in the thing you want to do, you realize, it's actually not that bad, and I already started. And then you're getting momentum. The same with the gym. When some of my clients have promised to go to the gym, I tell them, hey, just go to the gym, drive there, do 1 set, and then you can go home. What do you think? No one goes to the gym, does 1 set, and goes home. Most people do more than 1 set. They do more than 1 exercise. And then perhaps they drive home after 2 exercises, but it's better than just doing nothing at all. Because the thing you need to know is, if you read books, for example, like Psycho-Cybernetics, one of my favorite books of all time, he talks about how your self-image is basically determining, or how we say it in English, like your self-image is basically let us say your self-image is determining what kind of actions you will take on a daily basis. Like if you think about yourself, I'm a person that is healthy, you will always choose healthier foods. So what you need to do is you need to basically build your self-image up and become that person that never skips a habit. So let's say you skip the gym one day, you told yourself I'm going to go to the gym, but then you skip it. Perhaps you think, it's not that big of a problem. I just skipped the gym once, right? It's not that big of a problem. But the problem is, by doing that, you're becoming the person that skips the gym. You are becoming the person that is telling themselves that they're going to do something, but is actually not doing it. So you're becoming a person of low self-integrity. You're becoming a person that is not disciplined, or is basically not sticking to the habits. And your self-image will be built by doing that. And it will also go into other areas of your life. It will always affect other areas of your life. It's not just like, this is the gym, this is my dating life, this is my business, my job. Everything is connected. You're basically building a person by your daily actions. So rather go just to the gym for 1 set, or go to the gym for 1 minute or just meditate for 1 minute, and then you're becoming a person that is not skipping habits. You're becoming the person that is motivated probably. And I mean, if you just meditate for 1 minute, who cares? But you stick to the habit. I always say it's super important to invest in the person you want to become in the future. Like a thing I told myself as well is, my goal, for example, is to earn more money right now. I want to make more cash. I want to have even more freedom. I want to just do that, right? So what I'm telling myself is, the Charles that earns more money, he already exists. He already exists. I just need to think about, okay, what does the Charles do that already achieved that goal? How does he think? What does he do? And it's not rocket science. So when I have a call with a client that I could have with a guy that is interested and wants to become a client, I actually text him to make the call, and then I do the call, I take the action. But back in the days, I was nervous before like such calls. I was like, oh, perhaps it's a weird guy. But now I'm like, dude, the Charles that earns my money, he is doing that without thinking. So I just do that. Or perhaps your name is Dave and you want to improve your dating life, and you see a girl that you like walking by, or you're in the club and you see her. What would the Dave do that would have a good dating life? He would approach her and talk to her. Even if the outcome is not good, you invested in the person that goes for the things that he wants. And this is the most important thing. I see so many people struggling with that, so many people. And to be honest, I also have like bad days, but because I've built my self-image up, I don't skip. I never skip. I almost never skip, to be honest. Almost never skip. I recently did also a meditation retreat where I did, I guess you guys know it. Some of you guys know it. It's called the Vipassana meditation retreat. You can do 10 days, or you can also do 3 days. So I just came back from a 3-day meditation retreat. I had to wake up at 4 a.m. And I was like, waking up at 4 a.m., man. And there was a possibility to just sleep in. They tell you, hey, dude, you actually don't need to come. You can sleep in and just go to breakfast at 6:30 a.m. That's totally cool. But I was like, dude, if I don't wake up at 4 a.m. and go meditate, I invest in the self-image of the guy that cannot wake up at 4 a.m. and meditate. I invest in that self-image. So I told myself for 3 days, I woke up at 4 a.m., I meditated for 1 hour, just sometimes a little bit less, but I was there meditating. I was there on the meditation mat at 4 a.m., almost fall asleep, but I was there to invest in my self-image. So what I want you guys to know is, or what I want to tell you in this podcast is, I see so many people trying to do stuff perfectly, like, how do I start a YouTube channel? And you guys, you love watch YouTube videos about starting a YouTube channel. Or how do I improve my dating life? You watch tons of videos. I'm also guilty of that, by the way. But you never take action. You never build that self-image of the person that takes action. That's so important. That's so important. It will go. I mean, because most people think, like, if I don't take action, I just don't improve. I don't improve my dating life. I don't improve my business. I don't improve my nutrition and health. I just stay the same. But the harsh truth of the reality is you're never staying the same. In my opinion, life is like a muddy hill. Like you have a hill, and the hill is muddy. So you basically walk up the hill, you improve, and then you stop, but you never stagnate, you slide back. And then you walk again, and you slide back. You see that with so many people. Like if you go to these classmate, how do you call it in English? Like these classmate reunions. You had like classmates 10 years ago, and you have these reunions with them, you know. You can go there, like you see people 10 years ago or 5 years ago, you see them again. Most people just slide back. Every year they get a little bit overweight. Every year they lose a little bit of their spark in their eyes. And every year they're getting unhappier with their life. So do you want to be that, or do you not want to be that? The first step that I took, I would say when I was 20 years old, I took that step. I told myself, what kind of person do you want to be? What kind of money do you want to make? What kind of job do you want to have? I was not super specific, but I already had a vision in my head. And then I did the best to just act through that person. You can already be that person now, the best version of yourself, but just ask yourself, what would you do in that situation? And it's also not about feeling good about doing it. Like so many times I feel I'm afraid to do stuff. I'm nervous, like literally, I'm like, oh, dude. You don't see that when I do these podcasts here, but when I have people on here that I follow since 5 years, I had guys on that podcast I followed since 5 years. I am kind of nervous and excited to meet them, and I'm like, oh, am I good enough? And sometimes I'm reading in my head, but I told myself, I want to have a podcast that is successful. I want to interview people that I really like to follow. I want to be friends with them. What would that guy do? Would he do the Would he do the podcast regardless of being a little bit nervous, or would he not do it? So I always did it. I never skipped. I always did it. I was nervous. I never skipped. And what happened was beautiful. So that's just my little rant so far. Getting in the zone, and I'm just gonna read some questions. What do you think of Mike Dolce and Paul Chek? I don't know Mike Dolce. Paul Chek, I have a book here of Paul Chek. Let me just show you. Oh, it's perhaps even too far away to grab. It's called How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy. To be honest, I like Paul Chek. I follow a lot of different guys. I don't agree with everything he says, but I actually don't know if it's true. He says, like, for example, he says if you have a coffee and if you just let it stay there for too long, like some poisonous stuff can like build up and you should not drink it. And I'm like, okay, that's just the only person I've heard that, and I don't know if it's true, but because I'm biased, that I love coffee and sometimes let my coffee stay for long. So, but I like his stuff. I can recommend him, especially because he has a huge library and I love to read books. So I could recommend his stuff. But anyway, since I came out of the vegan diet, I'm basically not agreeing with almost any person anymore for 100%. There's always I'm always in some way a little bit disagreeing with some points of people. So I'm also trying to think for myself as good as I can. And I'm also not agreeing with myself. Like if I watch videos from myself from 1 year ago, I'm like, dude, man, why am I saying this? And I'm also happy when people don't agree with me, because I guess in 2 years, I won't agree with the things I will say here. I will look at a video and think like, dude, man, that's awkward. Why are you saying that stuff? So I believe if you're not a little bit embarrassed of yourself from like 1 or 2 years ago, you're not growing fast enough. So you say we are just learning the notes but never play the instrument? That's a good one. Shout out to Kai. Yeah, that's a good one. I guess that's just human nature to procrastinate. I call it productive procrastination. So if you want to do something, we read so many books before we start because we think we need to be ready. But the thing is, I don't know who manipulated us to think that, but you will never be ready for anything, man. Like everything I did in my life, I was never ready. I was never ready to start a YouTube channel here. I started 3 years ago. People were like 3.5 years ago, even people were making fun of my accent. At my gym, they were making fun of my accent. Hey, you started a YouTube channel, you're talking English. How, I was never ready to do stuff. So I guess the bias that we have, I don't know how the bias is called, but what I do right now, for example, knowing that we do that, I'm just following an expert on YouTube that I like, that I resonate with, or I read 1 or 2 books about the topic as good as I can, and then I just dive in and do the things. So a good rule of thumb that I have, I got it from Tai Lopez, is I guess it's the 30-70 rule. So 30% of the time I acquire information, and then I try to basically take double amount of the action. So in a perfect world, this would mean like for 5 hours reading a book, you do 10 hours of action taking. And don't underestimate how much 10 hours of action taking is. So you will watch one 10-minute video of like how to start a YouTube channel, and then you upload 50-minute videos on your channel, something like that. It's just like a rule of thumb. But you should inform yourself before you take action, because you don't want to waste too much time. But you also want to take action now, because by taking action, you actually learn a lot. You learn a lot by taking action. And the things you're reading will make a lot of more sense as soon as you are in real life doing stuff. Swiss Army Power. Hi, haters gonna hate your accent. It's fire. Bro, my man. One ex-roommate of mine is in the chat. Thanks, bro. Looking forward to seeing you. I've heard you are having some huge adventures in Turkey. Yeah, man, good stuff. So, what do you want to talk about also in this podcast? I was talking about what habits, discipline. I'm just really don't know what to tell you guys, but I was reading that in that hardcore mind state of like, I need to read more, I need to study more before I take action. But the older I'm getting, and the more I realize life is just about basics. You need to get the basics right. You get always in every area, you get 8% of the results just by doing the basics right. But most people, they either know the basics or they don't know them. Or what I want to say also is there is a kind of a bias in our brain that we always think when something is more complicated, it's automatically better. So if something is really simple, like, hey, track your calories to lose weight, eat enough protein, do weight training. If you just need to do 3 things, people think like, what? It's too easy. It's too easy. It can't be good. It's too simple. It can't be good. So we kind of think the more complicated something is, the better it tends to be. But the more I realize it's all about the basics. Get the basics right. The same with nutrition, guys. Get the basics right. so many people don't sleep enough. Sleep enough, eat your veggies, eat your fruits. Some people argue, I say it all the time, some people may argue veggies are not good. Yeah, I guess for some people that have been on a long-term vegan diet and wrecked their gut, could be. I'm not in a place to judge them, of course. I mean, good friend of mine, I've never met him in real life, but perhaps will. Bobby's Perspective, shout out to Bobby. He has problems to get his, when he eats vegetables, he has problems. So for him, it's bad. But I guess for 99% of people, just get the basics right, guys. I don't know what to tell you more. Get the basics right, install some habits, have a clear path, and then enjoy the ride, of course, because you always think that as soon as we hit the destination, we will be happy, right? That's also a huge scam. I'm kind of angry about, because our society is basically priming us to think, like everyone is basically, the media, social media, normal media, television, our parents, our perhaps social circle, that kind of unconsciously they prime us to think that in the future we can be happy. I remember 5 years ago or 7-8 years ago, when I was more naive, I had to believe in my head that, oh yeah, once I have that dream job, once I do this, once I have my dream girlfriend, then I can just lean back. And do not forget all. I can just be happy, and then I arrive, right? I arrived at my destination. We all think that subconsciously. When I arrive, I will be happy. But now the harsh truth is, guys, you will never arrive. And if you have a kind of mindset, you will never be happy. So you will waste your whole life waiting for that one moment to be happy. And then you're on your deathbed and realizing, shit, dude, I was never really happy. I mean, read the books. It is a good book. I don't know how it's called. It's called The Regrets of the Dying, or 5 Regrets of the Dying. And every one of them, like there was a woman, I don't know, a journalist or something, or someone that interviewed people that were on the deathbed, and every one of them said, I wish I would have let myself be more happy. I wish I would have let myself more happy. And that's a huge thing I want to tell you, because you can even argue, how do you call it? You can even argue in neurobiology, like if you look at the biology of the brain, you can also argue that, I guess you guys know the concept of neuroplasticity. So it means that your brain is always changing its neural pathways regarding or depending what you do in your daily life. So if you learn a new language, your brain will wire itself so you can learn it better. You integrate the language in your skill set. But it also works with thinking patterns. So if you always think, I will be happy when, I will be happy when I achieve this, you're basically strengthening the part of your brain that is thinking that. So you basically need to stop to think that. You have perhaps thought for 20 years of your life, when I will have that, I will be happy. And this is a neural pathways. It always gets stronger the more you do it. So if you think you will be happy in 10 years when you achieve that big thing, guess what? You achieve the big thing, but your brain is still wired like that. Then you will find the next thing. Will find the next reason not to be happy. You will find the next reason why you're not arrived. You will find the next reason not to live an authentic life and just be happy with what you have and then strive for something else. You will always try to think to find the next thing. So what I want to tell you is that's also a huge. I don't know why I'm talking about that right now, but it's just something I also thought a lot. Like, it's a huge scam to think that you arrived. You will never arrive. But let me correct that. You will arrive if you start to give yourself the permission to arrive, to start to let yourself have the permission to just be happy, right? But what does that mean? Most people don't know what it means to be happy. And that's a huge topic. It's a broad topic you can philosophize for hours. Because I guess there's a big difference between chasing state of being happy, like, I don't know, some people take drugs, some people drink alcohol, which is a drug, some people try to find happiness, the state of happiness, through relationships, through getting money, through getting materialistic things, right? But what I believe real happiness is it's more about fulfillment, like being fulfilled, like leaning back and being alone with your thoughts and just being proud of who you are, being comfortable with who you are. That's real happiness to me. It's not about like, oh yeah, life is awesome, always be like that. No, that's just a scam. That's not that's just some, I don't know. I like spirituality, as a topic, and then I read books, I meditate, but being happy all the time is just fake to me. I believe it's fake. Like people on cocaine are happy all the time. But what I believe real happiness is being fulfilled, just leaning back and being happy with yourself and being alone. That's fulfillment. And I always needed some time to realize that. I needed a lot of time to realize that. So how do you achieve that state? Where energy flows, where focus goes. Yeah, good point. Who said that? I don't see the name. Zoe. Yeah, thanks for being here, Zoe. I see you almost every time here. Thank you so much. By the way, let me know where you're from. I'm curious where people are from that follow my stuff. So yeah, what I want to say is, how do you become really fulfilled and happy, right? I guess for everyone it's different. So how I found it out for me is I studied that a lot. Like, what do I need to be fulfilled? So I looked at my personality from different angles, and I started to build a life that is basically aligned with my personality, with my preferences, and I looked for goals that I want to achieve that are also aligned with my personality. Because you need to know that if you don't strive for anything in life, you will be unhappy. Like our biology is basically primed to always strive for something. But you need to have something that it's worthwhile striving for. Because you can strive for something, basically you can be in a job that you hate and you want to make more money, and you can basically suffer for that. But it's basically not worthwhile because it's just like making money, and then you buy materialistic things to basically numb your pain. But what you could do instead is you ask yourself, what kind of person am I? What kind of goals, what kind of vision do I have for myself? And then you basically base your whole life to achieve that vision. If you achieve it or not, I mean, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. It's just that you have a goal that's aligned with your values, with your personal values, and you strive for that. Because the truth is, you will always suffer in your life. That's my opinion. Like, you can be enlightened. Like, I'm in a pretty good state right now. I just came out from a meditation retreat. I'm in a good mood. I don't really suffer a lot, but you will always suffer in your life. And the question is, for what do you want to suffer, right? Because I guess unconsciously we all try to not suffer. We all try to have the next thing to not suffer, but you will always suffer. The thing is, you need to find something that it's worthwhile suffering for, and then you will be fulfilled. Because the thing is, if you have something that it's worthwhile suffering for, you will actually not suffer that much. It won't feel like suffering, in my opinion. So that's a huge mindset shift I had to make. So I'm just ranting here. What do you need to do then? How do you know to be fulfilled? I was talking about have a life that is aligned with your personality. The harsh truth is most people don't even know what kind of personality they have. They don't even know what they want. So the first step for people listening is know what kind of personality type you are. Go online, do personality tests. Go on 16personalities.com and do the personality test there. I got ENFJ, which means that I'm basically extroverted and I'm a feeling person. I like to be extroverted, like to talk to people, like to create stuff. And I'm a kind of not so a rational thinker, I'm more kind of a feeler. So me, personally, with my personality, it's better to have a job that is based around people, especially around helping people. Because what I did as well is I did all kinds of personality types. Because people tell me, hey, what kind of personality type should I do? I'm like, dude, do all of them. Do all of them. Or do a lot of them that are basically more or less scientifically proven. They don't need to be perfect. But every time you do a personality test, you find out something about yourself that is pretty interesting, is insightful. And then you basically base your life around that. So harsh example, you are an introverted person and you have a sales job. That's the worst example ever, in my opinion. So that's a huge recipe to get to be depressed. That's the first step. Know what kind of personality you are. Second step, ask 10 of your friends for true and harsh feedback. I did this twice. It's an amazing exercise. I tell my friends, hey, please don't care about my feelings, but just give me harsh feedback. What are things I'm insanely good at? What are things I'm one of the best that you know? And what are things I really suck at? And then you will get a lot of good feedback. I got things that people told me. I was like, dude, I never thought about that. Because your friends don't want to hurt your feeling. But if you tell them, hey, please tell me the truth, you will get so much good insights. So much good insights. So many good insights, better say. That's the second thing we can do. Then the third thing also, I went to my parents and I asked my parents, hey, what kind of kid was I? And the thing is, my mother, actually, a couple of days ago, when I asked her that, she told me that when I was a kid, when we went into a supermarket, I always went directly to books. Even as a 5-year-old kid, I went to look at book. Even I was not able to read, I went to the books. And I was like, that's so true. Right now in my room here, I have over 300 books in my room. Over 300 books, and probably with Audible and Kindle 100 more. So I was like, oh, I should probably have a job and do something that is based around knowledge, around books. So what I then also did is, you can ask yourself a fourth question. You can ask yourself, what can I talk about effortlessly on a Saturday night? That's a good indication of what you want. So me, for example, here it's personal development, productivity, nutrition, gym, how to become the best version of yourself. So then it clicked. I was like, okay, I become a personal trainer, an online personal trainer that helps people to lose weight and to become the best version of themselves. So that's what I'm doing right now. I have never been as fulfilled as right now, and that's it. So ask these questions yourself. I repeat, what can I talk about effortlessly on a Saturday night? Ask your parents what kind of kid you have been before, or your aunts, your grandmother, whatever, or whoever, better to say. Do personality tests. And then also, what was the fourth one? I'm ranting here. Fourth one, to be honest, I don't really know what the fourth one is. Personality test. What kind of person have you been before? Yeah, get feedback from your friends also. Get really harsh feedback. Yeah, exactly. Dude, I'm ranting here. I'm ranting so much today. I'm kind of sorry, but it's good. It's easier for one to give advice than it is for a person to run one's own life. Yeah, I would say. I'm not perfect at that as well. Like, I'm really not perfect at that. Like, I talk a lot of like things that make sense, but then at the end of the day, you also need to look at yourself. That's true. Definitely, it's true. That's a good one, Bruce. Zoe is from Sweden. Do I speak Swedish? No, I have some word I can say Norwegian, but not Swedish. Älskling. Älskling, yeah. That's a basic vocabulary you need to have. But yeah, have some clients, or also ex-clients from Sweden. Shout out to you guys. I don't know why. Like, I need to go to Sweden soon. Focusing on what you have, what is good in your life, instead of only focusing on what you don't have, what you think you're missing. That's a good one, Azura. Shout out to you. Thanks for just saying that. That's a good one. I also started to integrate a gratitude exercise in my life. That's something I wanted to say in the beginning. I kind of every time I drink my morning coffee, also without caffeine, when I smell at my coffee, I tell myself 3 things I'm grateful for, always. And now, even when I walk somewhere and I smell coffee, because of the smell, I automatically think about things that I'm grateful for. So, I know people that do like this 5-minute morning journal with so many gratitude. I also did that, but I realized, dude, 5 minutes for me, even 5 minutes is too much for me. Like, I don't have a lot of discipline, as I said. I have willpower, and I don't want to waste too much willpower for that, because it's not my priority. But at least when I drink my coffee, I'm thinking about 3 things I'm grateful for. And this is a huge habit. But I would say it's one of the most important habits you can do, like meditation, gratitude, reading books on a daily basis. And I don't have time to read books. It's not an excuse. You can listen to Audible when you walk. You can listen to Audible when you're on Facebook. You can listen to Audible when you're on the toilet. I don't have time is not an excuse. Read, and then do something with your health, do some sports. That are the basics. Wear some blue light broker glasses before sleep. These are the basics, and then you're fine. Let me check the chat. Yeah, Älskling means darling. Dino, hi Charles. Thanks, Dino, for the support on Instagram today. I really appreciate it. Supporting my channel since 2 years. And unfortunately, we never met in real life, but perhaps we will. Would be fun. Do you do some kind of journaling to track your habits and to-dos, like an app or Excel sheet? Yeah, so I just ranted about journaling. So I would say this would be the perfect thing to do, actually. Yeah, if you want to do it perfect, you do it with an app and an Excel sheet, of course. But then it's the thing I said before. People try to do things perfectly, but then they never do it. So my question to you, Dino, is: do you do your habits right now, or do you wait for the perfect Excel sheet to do it? That's my question to you. Me, I know in advance, like, I'm not gonna do it. There's no way I'm gonna do that. I know it. You know how my brain works. There's no way I'm gonna do that right now. So I'm just like, okay, I'm just not tracking anything. I'm just doing that, and this works for me. So yeah, if it works for you, I mean, I have a good productivity and personal development coach. Shout out to Killian. I want to do a podcast with him. If you know, also, I'm also thinking about getting a coaching from him, because the thing is, if you have a coach, if you invest money in that, you actually stick to the stuff. I have so many friends right now I'm also giving money to if I don't stick to a habit. Like, I told my friend, hey, if I don't do that, I give you $100. I do that all the time because we are really primitive beings, so we are really motivated by cash. So yeah, if you get a productivity coach and you do it with the Excel sheet, you will do it because you're financially invested or emotionally invested. But me, I'm not really invested, emotionally invested in that, so I'm just not tracking it at all because I know I'm not going to stick to it. Yeah, but I like the idea. It's perfect. What I do is I have an Excel sheet that is tracking my nutrition. I have an Excel sheet that is tracking my training. But why do I have that? Because I have a guy that I pay money to every month, so I stick to that. And the guy is called Steve Hall. Shout out to my bro, friend, mentor, and coach, Steve Hall. It's not like I don't have the knowledge to coach myself. Of course I have the knowledge to coach myself. But why do I give him money? Because when I give him money, I know that, okay, I'm investing so many bucks a month, and if I skip that workout, I basically waste the money. So I don't want to waste the money, so I go to the gym every time. I do the last rep because I don't want to waste the money. So that's also a huge thing I realized. Like, money is a huge motivator. Like, I had it all the time. I basically, in the beginning, I coached people for free. I coached so many people for free, but the people never got the results. And I was asking myself, why do people don't get the results? I'm giving them the knowledge. I'm here for them because they don't put money on the table. That's the reason being why I'm such a big fan of coaches. I love coaching. The reason I became a coach myself. And what we do is not a rocket science. It's like you invest some money and then you invested in it and you take action. You're way more, I don't want to insult people, but we as people, we are way more primitive than we think. Our brain is still wired like 10,000 years ago. So use that wire. Like, I know some millionaires. I've met them personally, and they tell myself how to motivate them. And they do it exactly like that. They give friends money. They have accountability friends. And they motivate themselves like that. With money, with cash, with really primitive things. People that have success in their lives don't have success because they're like this enlightened magic human being. No, they actually know that they are dumb, and then they they base their life around that to be less dumb. That's the thing, I would say. And with dumb, I don't mean non-intellectual. With dumb, I mean kind of primitive, you know. And primitive is not the bad thing. I don't want to label it as bad, but it's just like, you know, we are like we are. Read books about motivation, about discipline, about willpower. Then you will know what I mean. Yeah. So I'm ranting here. Yes, unfortunately, we didn't meet in Zurich last time. There will be another chance for sure. I do most of the habits, but not all. There's an urge to track everything. I don't know why. Do you know a good comment, a good advice I can give you? I did that with actually two of my friends. I have two accountability bros, one of my two best bros, and one of my friends. I need to send them my to-do list for the next day in WhatsApp before I go to sleep, and then at the end of the day, I need to tell him what I did. Of this to-do list, and it's worked so good because now I'm like, oh, I'm gonna send him the to-do list. I need to do it. That's one example. Like, just ask some friend of yours, and if it doesn't work, like, give each other cash. Yeah. Asura, useful to know for intellectually focused people. Binaural beats, beta frequency, were found to increase IQ by 20%. By 20 points. Really? 20 points? Okay, where did you get the information from? I'm really curious. That's it. I mean, if I would have 20 points more IQ, man, this would be sick, dude. I would be at 130 for sure. I would be above 130. It would be fun to be an intellectual dude and a funny dude at the same time. Train your mind to be strong. generate and create, not observe and consume. X philosophy, imagine and read instead of too much TV and YouTube. Exercise philosophy, yeah. That's a good point. That's really, yeah, guys. By the way, let me know in the chat what are some of your favorite books. I'm just curious because some of you guys perhaps also love to read like myself, and we can just have a little chat about that. Yeah. But yeah, to be honest, I guess I ranted today. I ranted enough for today. But you can let me know if you want to know something more. I'm just happy that you guys in the chat. I'm happy for all the support. I'm happy to have a community to share some thoughts because it's cool to have social media but to be honest, in real life, it's hard to think like-minded people. I know how hard the struggle is, so it's cool to have a community here of like-minded people. Yeah, it's just fun to talk to you. So let me know. What have I said? I guess I'm good. Yeah, I'm pretty good. I'm just gonna answer some questions in the chat, and then I'm gonna eat because I'm just coming from the gym. I basically need to eat like, how many calories do I need to eat? It's like 10:20 p.m. here. I guess I need to eat, let me check. I need to eat like 1,400 calories, something, man. It's just, man, I'm at the body fat level right now where my body is super comfortable, and just to push my body weight up, it's kind of like, it's almost a job. Like, it's almost a job, but it's fun. Let me check. Yeah, I have 1,300 calories left. Yeah, will be good. Will be fun. Gonna put on some YouTube here. Gonna eat some stuff. Not the best thing to eat while watching stuff, but sometimes you're just gonna enjoy yourself. Dino says, cool. I like the idea. On my last fat loss diet, I sent my best friend the total count of my calories for the day. Worked pretty good. Kept me accountable. Yeah, dude. It's exactly that. We as human beings are way more primitive than we think. So, like, every time I realize that successful people are motivating themselves like that, I'm like, yeah, dude, why did I not think about that? Like, even posting on Facebook or start a YouTube channel, call it like Dino wants to change his life, and then you just document your journey and to keep yourself accountable. People would actually enjoy that, I guess, if you would just like start to record your life, call it Dino Travaglianin. Personal development, whatever, or something like that, and just people love to see other people just doing their stuff on social media and document their stuff. Would be a great YouTube channel idea, and I would say you have the guts to do it. You have everything you need to do it. It would be cool to watch. I mean, I would watch some videos just to see what happens in your life. Yeah, man, that's a good advice I just thought about right now. And you will then also, the cool thing is, you will become better at talking to camera. You will attract more people that are like-minded as you, perhaps even some people from the other gender. I don't want to assume gender here. So now my YouTube channel is down, flagged. But yeah, man, like, why not? And then also, as soon as you have a YouTube channel and you start to put yourself out there, you basically need to be accountable. And then magic stuff happens. Some last thing I want to talk about in this podcast, something I was thinking, I could actually do that every week. At the end of every week, or I don't know, every Wednesday, I could do one of these podcasts and just talk about what I was thinking about on that week. Because I think a ton about these things, man. I think all the time about these things. So Mogul Productions, are you familiar with Jocko Willink's opinion on discipline? Of course I am, man. Unfortunately, my Kindle is not here. I wanted to show you my Kindle, but I have my fitness pal here. I started to read his book. It's called Extreme Ownership. To be honest, I don't really remember his opinion on discipline, but I guess he's basically saying the same thing that I say, just from another perspective. So I guess in his book he says that exactly, discipline is important. Like, doing the things you're supposed to do is important because you basically go as a person. It's the same thing I said here. I just said that discipline is worthless because people think they need more discipline to start stuff. No, they just need to know the things they need to do and just set a low bar, like meditate just for 1 minute, go to the gym for one exercise, and then just execute that all the time. Okay, that to stick to that is discipline. But why do you stick to 1 minute meditation? You stick to it because doing it is actually easier than skipping the thing. So that's the reason why I do stuff. So his opinion is basically, I guess, I'm not going to misquote him, but that you always need to do the things you're supposed to do. because you change your self-image by doing that. Yeah. Respect your animal self. Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, even Sigmund Freud talked about three different selves: the it, the ego, the superego. In Christianity, we talked about that. The what was it? I don't even know it, man. I'm supposed to be Christian. I don't know. Or I was Christian, better say. I'm not atheist, but I don't believe in like a certain. I believe in God, but I don't believe in a certain religion. So, about the Holy Ghost and two other things, I don't know in English. The Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost, also three. It's basically also a metaphor for the three parts of us. And there are other books like the Happiness Hypothesis. He also talks about the emotional self, the rational self, the rider and elephant. We have so many different philosophies that talk about our divided selves. So yeah, that's a good point. What I also thought about regarding that is, if you want to always be motivated, you need to have to find the motivation, or you need to have all the three parts of you motivated. So what do I mean by that? Sorry, I'm a little bit tired. I need to explain that in better terms. So what I did is I realized that we as a human beings we are three different persons at the same time. We have a higher self, we have a middle self, and we have a lower self. What do I mean by that? It's when we are in our lower selves, like basically we haven't slept enough, we are really negative, didn't eat, we are just grumpy, we are in our lower self, right? And then you need to find motivations to take action in your lower self state. So if you're in your lower self and you think about your bigger vision for your life, you're not going to take action. You're just not in the state for it. If you're in a higher self, you motivate yourself with having a big vision. I want to help so many people. I want to start that YouTube channel. I want to inspire people to be the best selves. You can do that if you're in a higher self. But if you're in a lower self, you're underslept, you're negative, you're not going to take action. So what I do sometimes, most of the time when I'm in a lower self, I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to do this to show people wrong. People that don't believe in me, I'm going to show all of them wrong. Like they will be so jealous. And it's a stupid thought. It's a super stupid thought, to be honest. But, to be honest, sometimes you are grumpy. We are in your lower Am I back? Back to life. Resurrected. So I didn't even panic. I was not even panicking. I was like, okay, whatever. So chill. Yeah, am I back? Let me know, guys, if I'm back. Should I play Tristan's song again? Please, by the way, send that video to Tristan. I want to get flagged. I want to get banned, man. You are back. Gung Fu, my man. Gung Fu, the man himself. The guy that is always in every live stream I'm also in. What is up, man? What is up? Damn, the internet gods. I was playing with Yeah, I told you guys. I was assuming Dino's gender, so YouTube would want to cut me, to take me down. Yeah, guys. But to be honest, I'm getting pretty hungry. I'm happy to eat. I'm gonna answer una cuestión más y después yo voy a dormir. Voy a comer, which is Spanish, which means I'm gonna answer one more question. Then I'm gonna eat. So guys, first of all, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate your support. I remember 1 year ago or a couple of months ago when I wanted to live stream, there were not a lot of people online. Now I have a little community, so I'm really appreciative of that. So yeah, let me know. Okay, last question here from Zoe. Thank you. Charles, have you listened to Lark Rowe's book, The Most Dangerous Superstition? It's about the modern materialistic religion that disencourages self-reliance and responsibility and promotes sheeple. To be honest, I haven't read his book, but it sounds amazing. I will definitely check it out. And thanks for the YouTube link. I will definitely check that out. I don't know about that book, but I agree what you say. Totally agree. I don't know. I don't want to go into conspiracy theories. I don't know there's a conspiracy, but yeah, society is kind of programming us to strive for materialistic things, for happiness, and we are basically chasing ghosts. There are people, unfortunately, people that will never wake up. They will always chase ghosts and things, and they will never know why they're chasing them, and perhaps they achieve them, and then they're not happy. That's a sad truth. I mean, you see so many successful people killing themselves. Why? Because if you don't have the things you want, you actually still have hope. So you strive, you have a reason to wake up in the morning. But if you get everything you want, all the money, all the sexual experiences, all the people you want to know famous, and you're not happy, then you have no hope at all. And so people kill themselves, unfortunately. That's sad. That's really sad. So I want to prevent you guys from that. And how do you prevent you from that is like basically waking up from the illusion and start to chase things that are worth suffering for. It's the thing I said before. So what is worth suffering? Because I said before, like your brain is wired to chase things. If you don't chase things, if you go into a cave and meditate for 20 years, okay, perhaps you can become happy like that, but it's not the life I want to live right now. Perhaps when I'm 60, 70 years old, I'm probably going to go into a cave and meditate, but right now not. So what I want to tell you is ask yourself, what kind of person are you? What are your values? I actually have a vision board on my left here. Not a big vision board, but I wrote down my values. What are your values? What kind of person are you? What would it be worth suffering for? What's your vision? Do you have a vision? Your vision could just be to build a family somewhere in South America like Tristan, be happy, eat meat, make families. And this could be your vision. Don't know. Ask yourself that. And if you're watching the podcast, let me know in the comments below. What kind of person are you? What are your goals? So for me, just to give an example, my vision is to be completely free, live life on my own terms, which I almost are. Probably I am completely free right now. Yeah, I would say more or less. But to be so free that I can do whatever I want, anytime I want, with anyone I want, and to have a job or a profession that I love. I don't like to talk about purpose too much because purpose is a strong word, but for me it's to help people to become the best versions of themselves through nutrition and exercise, because it has been a big pain for me. And this is my vision for myself. So to end the podcast is, what is your vision? What kind of person do you want to be? And how would that person act on a daily basis? So basically, reverse engineer your dream life. And if you achieve it or not at the end of the day, it doesn't even matter that much. But what matters is that you have a dream life to strive for. You have a dream and you go for it. I don't like to call it even dream, because dream sounds like it's not achievable. You have something to strive for, yeah. But anyways, guys, I'm getting tired. I'm getting hungry. So hey, gracias, dankeschön, merci, and thank you, guys. I will be very happy to see you again. And also let me know if you have some suggestions for other podcast topics. Just to end that podcast, guys, I want to play you a song. I'm not going to tell you how the song is called because it's a really special song to me. And I'm going to just call that today. Thank you so much. Cheers, guys. I will see you soon. So good.